Now, the royal family is threatening to give Prince Andrew the boot from his royal lodgings if he fails to cough up over £2 million for repair works. Has he got that kind of money, Kinsey, laying about to devote to this? Or is he going to have to go and find himself a new bachelor pad?
Yeah, I mean, now that his personal piggy bank, Jeffrey Epstein, is gone, I'm not sure if he'll find the $2 million. But love this story because the last I read on the Daily Beast was that Prince Andrew's plan was to outlive his brother. And that's how he was going to stay in that house. So this is what I call karma. Prince Andrew, enjoy Frogmore Cottage if you're lucky.
Goodness me, that brotherly relationship seems more toxic than Harry and William. I didn't had no idea they were not on good terms.
Well, I mean, somebody's trying to kick you out. I'm sure that that creates a little animosity and resentment. I think ultimately the king promised his mother that he would take care of his younger brother, but Andrew is a waste of resources. Andrew's entitled and he's contributing nothing, and I don't think that the king wants to be seen as somebody that's entertaining that.
Well, you're right about contributing nothing. He is just too toxic to be doing any sort of official royal duties. No one wants him cutting ribbons anywhere. So, yeah, he is actually quite a liability. Now, let's talk about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I know you love this story. You're obsessed with this story a little bit. We've now had four women coming out talking about affairs with him. He and his wife, Cheryl Hines, have barely spoken to each other since his affair with a New York Magazine reporter became public knowledge. What is the latest on this saga? He certainly has form, Kinsey, as a womanizer. He is a Kennedy after all.
I know that's a classic Kennedy, right? Well, we also know that Olivia Newsey's ex-fiance, is the one accused of leaking the RFK Jr. story. He was also a political reporter
Mm.
who has had to step back from his job while he's being investigated and while he gets his life in order. We don't know if either one of them are going to come back to work, Olivia or her fiance. This has not affected RFK Jr.'s political aspirations really at all. They're saying that his
Mm.
endorsement of Trump was better than Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris, that it was more impactful. They say if Trump is elected, he's still going to have a place within the administration. So, as far as RFK Jr.'s political aspirations are concerned, he's safe. But if you're eating up some of this soap opera that you just can't get enough, like myself.
Well, you're right about the rumors of these affairs not impacting his chances of being in Trump's cabinet. Sources have told Page Six that the allegations are barely a scandal in DC these days, so they don't see that as an obstacle at all. Um, but surely it's not a good look with female voters. You would think that that is something that has to be taken into consideration, or are they like me? Do they just expect this sort of stuff from the Kennedys?
I'm like you. I met him. I thought he was very charming, and I absolutely expect these types of things from the Kennedys. His father and uncle are accused of murdering Marilyn Monroe, and we still have plaques and bronze statues of them
Yeah.
all over our country. So I think that it's going to be fine. I think the female voters are oddly swooning over the Kennedy legacy to this day.
Well, just one last thing on that issue. What about his wife? She's supposed to be the nicest person in Hollywood, universally adored. Yeah, there were some in the acting world who came out and blasted her when her husband endorsed Trump. But even that was not to the level you would expect because she is so well liked. What are we going to expect from her? Does she normally just keep quiet or will she stand by her man with a public statement?
To quote my favorite Rita, if they'll cheat with you, they'll cheat on you. And RFK Jr. cheated on his wife with Cheryl Hines. So the rumor is that she is prepared to
Oh,
leave, and she has not been wearing her wedding ring.
yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting. I didn't know about that history. There you go, Kinsey. You're across it all. Now, before you go, Warner Brothers have brought back Joker. They've got a sequel to the Joker film, wildly successful Joker film, but this time it's some sort of a musical. Here's a clip that's doing rounds. It's being variously praised and mocked, mainly mocked.
Build this mountain high. Let's build it. Mountain, mountain, build a mountain, 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 build a mountain,
What is going on with this? What are you hearing about the studio's expectations with this particular movie?
Highly disappointed. It's already bombing with critics. It's already bombing with the audience. And, I'd rather watch Grease 2, which is considered typically one of the worst sequels of all time. But I'd much rather watch Michelle Pfeiffer on that ladder singing Cool Rider than whatever it is you just showed me.
Yeah, whatever it is, that's what people's first response often is. What was that? Is that some sort of a joke? But if it's part of the film. And what about Lady Gaga's performance? Because she was almost universally praised for her debut. But this time around, is she getting many plaudits?
I don't think that she's kind of made an impact because I'm not seeing anything about that. I think the worst thing that they did when they were doing their interviews for this was they took themselves too seriously. And so it's almost you have secondhand
Mm,
embarrassment for them looking at all of the negative stories about how this is a failure because they sat there just so completely engrossed and serious about these characters and about this movie instead of having fun with it, which they absolutely should have. I mean, look at what we just witnessed.
absolutely. I know. I'd rather not look at it at all. Kinsey Schofield, thank you for your time.